everybody, this is Megan from Resourceful Dance, one of the co-founders. We help dance studio owners use tech to work smarter and stress less. So today we wrote, or a while ago, not today, we wrote a blog post all about the importance of dance evaluations and why you should do them at your studio. And in this video today, I wanted to show you how I think the best way is to actually execute this and get this done. So the first thing you're going to do is I recommend using Google Drive and Google Docs to get this done and also help your staff members to get it done and help you do some of the work. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go to Google, I can't even spell Google, Drive. And now in order to use Google Drive is free. You do have to have a Gmail account. So if you don't have a Gmail account, when you go to Google Drive, it'll prompt you to open an account. And even if you're never going to check that email, it doesn't take very long to make a Gmail account. And there are so many amazing free programs you can use through Google. So I would definitely recommend doing that if you haven't. So we're going to go to Google Drive. And you'll see all my folders. What I would do is I would set up a new folder. So we're going to go to New, and then we'll click on Folder. And we're going to call this Dance Evaluations 2018, since most likely you'll be doing this in the spring. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to open that folder. And now I'm going to go back to New, and I'm going to start with a Google Doc. So let's pretend you're creating your evaluation. So right up here, you would type evaluation, and then you would maybe, if you're going to do it by different disciplines, maybe it's ballet, maybe it's you're doing it by levels, however you decide works best for you. Probably you'll have, especially when it comes to those skills, you're going to have a different evaluation for hip hop than you might have for ballet, level 1 versus level 5. So you're probably going to need to make several different versions of this. But let's say we're going to go with my example. So we're going to use evaluation. This is ballet 1. Okay. So then I would get to work creating my thing. And I've already done that. So I'm just going to toggle over to my dance evaluation that I already made. And you are going to pretend that this is all, you did this for your studio, making the changes you needed to make. So I'm going to, this is my template for ballet 1. So I want to save that as a template so I can come back and use it year after year and make a few changes. Now I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to make a copy. And I can name that, I'm going to name that Ballet 1, and we're going to say this is the Thursday, it's at 4:30, Miss Amy. Okay. So now this is for a specific class, and I think the best way to get this done, and this may not make you happy because it's kind of a lot of work, but I promise the end result will be less work, and they'll look great, they'll look really cohesive. So I think as prep work to getting this done, what I would recommend you do is you're going to create a separate document for every single one of your classes, okay? So, and I'll get to this in a sec. So that way, when you go to print them, as we have learned the hard way, you're not going to print, if you have 300 students, you're not going to print, maybe those kids are in multiple classes. You don't have to open a fresh document, print it, download it to your computer every single time, because that is going to be a tremendous amount of work. If you have them all saved by class, it's pretty easy to go through and print them all together. Also, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to quickly go through and review, make sure there's no issues, and also pass them on to your teachers to do. So I would first pull up my dance studio software, remind myself how many kids are in each class, and then what I'm going to do is, let's say there's 5 kids in this class, I'm just going to File, Edit, select all. Press the Enter key to get on a new page, paste, and I'm good to go. And I'm gonna do that for how many kids I have. And the only thing you have to be a little careful of is sometimes spacing can just get a little bit off. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. So you're just gonna wanna make sure that one complete document is on every single page. So I'm gonna copy paste for the amount of kids I have in that particular class. The second thing I'm gonna do is again, I have my class list pulled up. I'm going to fill in the name of the class, Ballet 1. Something too that makes it nice is not having the fill-ins bolded, so then it's really easy for a parent to look at and decide, know what the teacher has filled in. I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to do, again, that same thing again. I know it seems a little crazy, but promise me it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill in all the kids' names. Susan Kids. And I'm going to do that on each one of these pieces of the document, the evaluation. So what this means, because what we found in the past is maybe your teachers are super tech savvy, that's awesome. But sometimes people have different interpretations of how to do things. Again, we've had that problem in the past where they've sent me, I had one teacher that sent me like 40 attachments in an email. That was not fun to sort through. This kind of eliminates that. And also make sure that you're doing the work up front, or your office administrator, your front desk person, of making sure that we have all of our students accounted for, so we're not missing anybody. So it takes away more of the checking and the work you have to do after your teachers get them back to you. So now we're going to go back. So we would do that for all the kids in that class. So when it comes, we're going to go back to this folder, and we have our evaluation for Ballet 1. And then you're going to, my things got in a different place. We're going to make believe that this is that document I just made, okay? So when it comes to sharing this folder with your teachers, you're going to click on the name of the folder, and you're going to click, you can do this two ways. You can click share, and then you can just enter in names and email addresses. But what I think is the easiest way is to click on this and get a shareable link. So, and then you have to maybe edit this, because right now it says link sharing on. Anyone with the link can view. Well, you want people to be able to not only view, but to also edit. So you're going to go to sharing settings, and you're going to change this. Anyone with the link can edit. All you have to do, copy this link, and then you're going to email that link to your teachers with the instructions for exactly how you want them to do. So in a perfect world, once you're all done with this whole folder would be full of all your class names. This does take a long time. I think I said a few hours in my blog post. Realistically, this setup could take a lot longer, especially if you've never done something like this in the past. But we kind of got into, I really think this has a huge upside. Parents really did, in that section where it's like recommended classes, I can't tell you how many times people came to registration and referenced, oh, on her student evaluation form, you said that hip hop might be a great other class for her, or you recommended company. And it gets them thinking about taking 2 classes, which maybe that thought wouldn't have crossed their mind previously. The other thing is, I don't know that many studios that go to this big of a, go this far as providing evaluations. And it's something that your parents spend a lot of money at your studio and a lot of time. So it's kind of like the least we can do is to tell them and give them feedback as to how their student is doing. So it just really puts you above and beyond maybe what other studios are doing. People love it. Even think about yourself. When you get feedback and somebody breaks that down, it just says like, wow, someone really took the time to look at my child, to give them some special attention, and to really think about how they're doing in class. Also, it's A great way to not have to talk about levels all year long, which is probably the best benefit. It makes it all very clear, so throughout the year, you don't have to talk about it. You can just say, oh, we address levels at the end of the school year. Boom, done. And then also these skills that we pointed out here, these may seem silly to you from the perspective of a dance teacher, but for parents, it gives them really concrete, like, well, can you do a leap with straight legs and pointed toes? Yes or no? And you can even have kids demonstrate. And it makes it very clear, like, okay, if they can't do these things, they can't move up. Easy. So hopefully that broke down. Final thing I'll say is that when you pass this link on to your teachers and you want them to start filling out, be really clear about, do you want them to use bold font? Do you want them to use, not font? Do you want not bolded font? Do you want them to include comments with their scores? How much do you think, I didn't even leave a spot for comments on this one. But how much do you want them to write? A sentence, 2 sentences? And then also just remember to include, are you paying them for the time it will take them to do these things? How long should they spend on each one? So just setting the precedent of what you expect, again, will make this whole process go a lot smoother. And then finally, the awesome thing about using Google Drive and Google Docs, once they make the changes, you have immediate access to them even as they're typing them, even as they're working on them. You can see where they're at. They don't have to email you anything. They don't have to attach anything. It's right here. So that's that. Please let us know if you have any questions about Google Drive or creating this document. And maybe too, if you think it'll be helpful, I can even share this Google Doc template, and then it's a little easier for you to start to edit and play with. So maybe I'll do that. I will share that and put it in our Facebook community. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click on the blog post. We'll include that in the comments and get that template. Yeah, and let us know if you have questions, or, I know this seems daunting. Promise it's worth it. Promise it'll improve your retention, get kids in multiple classes, and just really impress your parents and your kids. So that's that. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.